You may have heard people say, he's too positive, she's too positive. How can you be positive all the time with what you're going through? She's fake, he's fake. Maybe they've said about you or someone you knew, and you even wondered to yourself, how can I be positive about my life? With everything that has happened to me, how can I stay that way? And the question is, what is really being positive, optimistic? What does that really mean? And what is its relationship with healing from the inside out? This is Tamika Chambers with Create a Generational Love Cycle. And we dismantle the thoughts that created the cycle of pain. And I'm not just talking about physical pain, the emotional and mental pain, spiritual pain that we see and feel and experience in the world. And I've been doing a series on Fridays. Originally, I labeled Fridays as take out the trash day, getting rid of the trash. I was inspired by just, the trash collectors, on Fridays in Oregon. And, you get rid of trash and you get rid of this old stuff. And, we should be getting rid of trash every single day because often we can hold on to these little things, these little identities, these little penny opinions, these experiences, and we hold on to it because we feel like it's our identity. We put on the mask, whether it's this one big giant mask or a daily mask, depending on who we're with, our spouse, our children, our employer, employees, these little identities that we've picked up along the way that take us further and further from our truth, from who we really are. That, when we are living in truth, we don't need to call people outside their names. We don't need divisiveness, hatred, violence, suicides, teenage pregnancy, all that because we know who we are. We don't need to dominate others. We know that it's about controlling ourselves, aligning our personality with our spirit, that everyone is here on a divine mission. There is no judgment because everyone has a divine curriculum, this life, this orderly chaos that we call it, to help us to unveil the truth, to reflect the truth, to use our gifts and talents in such a way that it reminds people of who they are and that no experiences define them. And it was when, as a little girl coming into life and, seeing the anger and, it feeling like it's robbing people. It was robbing people of who they really were and robbing them of a great life. I knew there was more to life than what I experienced. There's more than life to what we were experiences. And so we were experiencing. And so when I look at the definition of positivity, and I was just thinking about it today as I was finishing up some chicken noodle soup. Positivity to me is when you know that within every experience, there is something to be grateful for. There are treasures that almost like if you remember the Mario Brothers and how he would pounce over things and then it would unveil these coins, these treasures that he would get these points along his journey, right? That there is something to learn about ourselves, that there is something to use that will help us with the next experience. And then as we learn, as we grow, we are becoming more of ourselves. We are etching towards that, the best part of ourselves, the best, living the best life that we know how. And I believe that is through seeing the positive, seeing the lessons learned, seeing the treasures in our experiences. The world calls it positivity. I call it being a student of life. And it was when I was a little girl around 13 or 14 that I said, I can't use the word mistakes. I want to use the word life lessons because it didn't sound so negative. It had more of, if you will, a positive spin on it. It made me want to observe and to live life more and to learn from my life and learn from others, right? And through that learning, it changes our mental outlook on life. It gives us a more healthier perspective on life, and not just believing the world is against us, that people are against us, that you're making it hard for me, so I can't do the work that I'm here to do. When we have that attitude, that mental attitude, we are giving our power away. We're saying that you control how I live, how I see the world. You control my actions and what I do and who I become, when it is not even near close to the truth. So when people say that you're positive, do you take that as an offense, or do you take it as, okay, I'm on the right track? We have to assess ourselves and see, you know, when they say positive, what do they mean by that? And my definition of it is that I'm looking for the better part of my experiences, because I know if I focus on the negative, and I've seen both parts of it, where I focus on a positive and I had more of a better outlook on life versus focusing on the negative, and you're down, you're frustrated, you feel like the world is against you, you feel like all your experiences, what is life for? And you can go down this dark tunnel of regret, resentment, bitterness, self hatred, blaming, which is the opposite path of becoming the best version of yourself, which is the opposite path of reflecting the truth. Now, do some people need to go down that road? Maybe so. Maybe that's in their curriculum to do that. I think it's important for us to experience both sides of it, because then we become so much more appreciative of really viewing life the way that we believe is the right way. And we're not going to turn around or back down because of what somebody else says, that you're so positive. Why do you have a positive outlook of life? Don't you see what's going on in the world? Didn't somebody do this to you when you were a child? Were your mothers, your parents, your uncles, your aunties, your coach, your teammates, were they not there for you? Why are you being positive? It's because I choose to be myself. I choose to be this great being that I know I am. I choose to align my personality with this divine spirit. I choose to truly reflect who I am in all my experiences, because in that view, I am stronger. I am wiser. I am insightful. I see things as they are instead of seeing them as I want them to be. I listen, I observe, I feel better about myself. I appreciate my body, I'm taking care of it. I'm eating the foods that feel good to me instead of those that weigh me down. The decisions we make come from the attitude that we take. And so if I'm living this life of mine, and I've seen both sides of it. I've seen the downward spiral. I've been in it, the tornadoes where I'm lifted up versus being observers of the storms in my life, of seeing the clearness, allowing myself to be clear, to be free, to release things that are not part of me, to to identify, to discern the thoughts that I have, if they are mine, or are there other energies, right? Because we take on energy. We are energy, and it's so easy for us to take on other energies. And so I'm going to weed out all of this stuff that I feel that I'm not, so that I can become who I truly am. What does this have to do with healing from the inside out? It is the proper way of releasing things that do not belong to you, of identifying them, of accepting our experiences as they are, of seeing the positive, the self reliance, ding, the communication and the power of that, ding, the kindness of that, ding, to know what it feels like to have someone to project their pain on us, the love, ding, the empathy, ding, feeling all of these virtues rise up within us and replanting them consistently from our experiences, building our foundation from the inside out so that we do not crumble when the storms come. We do not crumble when people say they don't like us, when they talk about us, when we don't have a lot of friends, when we don't, when people kick us, push us, when we get a bad grade, when we fail a test, because we know we are not our experiences, and we're going to look for those treasures within those experiences to heighten our ability to see what we need to do to move forward, to not stay stuck in the past. But I believe when we take on the perspective of a student, when we take on the perspective, there are treasures in my experiences, it enables us to move forward because we want to use what we have picked up. So, do we get angry because someone says that we're positive? Do we focus on the positive, or do we focus on what we feel underneath? That I'm going to help you as my child see your experiences as they are, to help you master your emotions and your feelings. Because when the other storms come, you see them, you observe them, you wait for the clearing of them. You are still, you are poised, you are appreciative. You move at the right time, at the right place. I do believe Eckhart Tolle when he says that in the moment is our power. In the moment is when we make our decisions often. We can think about stuff, but in the moment is when we seek guidance for what do I do now? And it becomes so innate, so automatic that you don't even hear yourself asking, but it's spirit to spirit talking and listening. And it's an automatic response. It becomes automatic in our writing, in poems, memoirs, screenplays, and construction in our building, that we just know the perfect fit for something. Have you ever felt that? Where things really move smoothly for you, and was amazed or in awe? Because at that moment in time, you were probably appreciative and in the moment of that experience, not in the past, but in the present. And I always try to tie this in as being a parent. And I mentioned, with my children, and really, not only just identifying their experiences, that emotions pop up, but also being humble enough to identify yours and appreciative and apologetic. An apology means that you try your best not to do it anymore. You recognize, you observe, you understand the experience, and therefore your approach to the experience that will come down the road that will be similar to it, similar principles, similar treasures, you will transcend that. You will get better each time because you're getting wiser. You're seeing the experiences for what they are and not what they can do, beat you up, shame you, but as an opportunity to reflect your truth, as an opportunity to be who you are, and helping our children to be the same. Because I believe as parents, our significant, most critical role is helping our children, is reminding them first of who they are. They're not just they're not just these physical bodies. They're not just these emotions and these chemicals that float around, but they are a divine spirit, a microcosm of this most powerful infinite intelligence, this greater spirit that keeps everything in alignment and keeps us in alignment when we align with it. And I know that can be hard for some, because some will say, well, I want to live my life. I just want to live it the way I want to live it. Or do you want to live the best version of your life? Do you want to feel the peace? Do you want to feel the power that comes with being in the present? Do you want to feel the synchronicity when you play your music, when you sing a tune, when you build, when you create, when you teach, when you coach, when you write. And so, positive doesn't mean negativity to me anymore. It means that I'm aligning with the real me. I'm aligning with who I really am. And I thank you because that's a compliment. This is Tamika Chambers with Create a Generational Love Cycle. I hope this podcast has been as helpful to you as it has been for me to really sit down and to look at this word. What does it mean to be positive? What does it mean to be optimistic? And how does that relate to me healing from the inside out, strengthening from the inside out? So I've started my newsletter, Notes on Life, empowering you to be you. And it's all about selling yourself, selling yourself on you, on the magnificent you, on sharing, I believe, universal truths, many of which right now I'm sharing from my mother. And I've talked about that on this podcast, but really sharing, you know, reminding who you are, that you're not your experiences, that you're greater. So I'll put the link as I try to do, and feel free to sign up. No push. I do have a Facebook page, Fulfill Your Divine Purpose, too, as well, where I'm definitely up to having more people join and interact in that group. And I just want to say, make this lifetime great. Today is Friday. What trash do you need to finally get rid of? What do you need to separate from to become the best version of yourself? To live the life, abundant life, in all realms that you deserve, that you're here to do. I'll talk to you guys soon. As always, make this lifetime great because you still can.